This woman really loves her husband, but after returning from space, he's changed. Or maybe it's not him anymore. Let's help her figure it out. Spencer and Jill, a married couple, are lying in bed watching a black and white movie. Spencer is an astronaut, and soon he's about to leave for another mission. Jill tells her husband she'll miss him terribly. Soon after, the woman anxiously watches the launch of the spacecraft. Jill works as an elementary school teacher. During a lesson, she is called to the phone. It's NASA Mission Control. Spencer is calling his beloved directly from outer space. Jill's sister Nan comes to visit. She's a little jealous after all. Jill has such a romantic husband. The protagonist accidentally cuts her finger with a knife when she sees a picture of her husband and his partner on the TV screen. Apparently, something went wrong during their mission. The astronaut's condition is still unknown. A NASA representative visits Jill and urgently asks her to come with him. At the agency's office, the protagonist meets Natalie. She's the wife of the second astronaut, Alex. Fortunately, both Spencer and his partner are alive. They will return to Earth soon. It turns out the astronauts were working in open space, repairing a satellite, when some kind of explosion occurred. Another shuttle later picked them up. NASA employee Mr. Reese stays with Jill and Natalie. He turns on the shuttle's onboard camera so the women can watch the astronauts return live. Spencer is taken to the hospital as he's still unconscious. His colleague Alex is in worse condition, so he is rushed to intensive care. Jill stays in Spencer's room. After some time, he regains consciousness, and the woman kisses her beloved through tears of relief and joy. Meanwhile, Alex also wakes up in the intensive care unit. He begins screaming violently, and soon suffers an epileptic seizure. The doctors have to use a defibrillator several times to bring him back. Soon, a formal ceremony takes place at NASA. Jill talks with Natalie. Both women admit that their husbands haven't told them anything about what happened during that incident in the open space. They behave as if nothing ever happened. Spencer tells Jill that he's leaving the service and plans to focus on business instead. He wants them to move to New York, and Jill agrees. She says goodbye to her students. The children bombard her with questions like, "Did your husband see God or aliens in space?" Or, "Did he have a laser gun?" Everyone bursts out laughing. The astronauts throw Spencer a farewell party. Jill notices Alex arguing with Natalie. The man kisses her, then suddenly starts crying, smashing dishes, and looking for Spencer. Jill walks toward him and sees that he's having another epileptic seizure. Alex collapses onto the table. Spencer watches everything unfold with horror in his eyes. An urgent press conference is held. NASA officials announce that Alex suffered a brain hemorrhage. Jill worries about her husband, but the doctors assure her that Spencer's health is not in danger. After the funeral, Jill visits Natalie. The woman claims that they spoke to Alex every night. Jill asks, "Who are they?" but gets no answer. Before Jill leaves, Natalie confesses, "He hid inside me." Reese meets with Spencer. Suddenly, the lights in the house go out. Someone starts screaming. Jill drops her glass and runs toward the sound. She finds Natalie in the shower. The woman is sitting on the floor with a radio plugged in. Some time passes. Jill notices that Spencer has changed drastically. When they're finally alone, she asks him what really happened out there in open space. Spencer doesn't answer. Instead, he tries to change the subject. The only thing Jill manages to find out is that after the explosion, he lost communication with Earth for 2 whole minutes, and that it was very dark and incredibly cold. One night, Jill wakes up alone in bed and soon finds Spencer sitting with a radio receiver. The man quickly switches the channel and complains about insomnia. The next morning, Jill stares thoughtfully at that same radio. There's a glass of whiskey on top of it. Jill teaches a class at her new school. She reads the children a fairy tale about an evil dwarf. The students excitedly repeat the funniest lines after her. But when they start stomping their feet, Jill suddenly stops smiling. The protagonist calls her sister Nan and complains that she feels terribly lonely in this huge city. Spencer comes home. With each passing day, he returns later and later. Jill learns that she is pregnant, but the news brings her no joy at all. Later, Spencer's boss invites them to dinner. During the evening, Jill discovers that they are developing an aircraft capable of transmitting a special signal that ordinary people won't be able to hear across enormous distances. Jill finds that rather unsettling. She tries to understand why her husband is working on such a project. What's the purpose of this aircraft? Spencer simply replies that it's his job, but both of them feel that they're hiding something from each other. Soon, the couple finally visits a doctor. During the ultrasound, they learn that Jill is already 9 weeks pregnant. The doctor says everything looks fine, and they can even hear the heartbeat. To their surprise, Jill is expecting twins. The woman tells the doctor about her mental health struggles. She explains that she had previously been hospitalized due to terrifying hallucinations, but Spencer helped her recover. Jill worries that her mental health issues might return during pregnancy. The doctor advises her to spend plenty of time with Spencer and reassures her that everything will be okay. Soon, Jill has a terrifying dream. She finds herself back on the day of Alex's funeral, only this time, she is sitting with the radio instead of Natalie. Jill confesses to her husband that she's scared. Spencer takes his beloved to the bathroom and bathes her as if she were a child. For some reason, the woman feels as though this is just another dream. Jill joins a support group with other pregnant women and listens as they discuss their issues. When she comes home, she turns on the radio and starts dancing wildly. Then the woman eats whipped cream straight from the can, sees Spencer, and bursts into cheerful laughter. Soon, Jill goes to a children's store to buy some toys for her twins. There she runs into Mr. Reese, a former NASA employee. The man notices that Jill is pregnant and insists on talking to her. He is convinced that something terrible happened to the astronauts out in space, and that they came back as different people. Jill learns that Reese no longer works for NASA and tries to walk away from him, but the man follows her. He says that Natalie was pregnant too. It happened right after her husband was discharged from the hospital, right after that incident in the open space. Reese hands Jill a recording. According to him, it's proof that something awful happened during those 2 minutes of lost contact. A police officer suddenly appears and takes Reese away. At home, Jill listens to the tape. It sounds like something terrified the astronauts. The woman stops the playback halfway through, wraps the cassette in a towel, and smashes it with a hammer. Nan comes over to support Jill. The protagonist realizes she's losing her mind. In the evening, Jill and Spencer have dinner with Nan. The main character feels unwell and asks her husband to take her home. She tries to talk to Spencer about Alex and Natalie, but he flat out refuses to discuss the matter. Soon after, Jill receives a phone call from Reese. It turns out that Natalie was also pregnant with twins. Jill is horrified. She's afraid that her own children may not be entirely normal. Jill begins to spy on her husband. Spencer allegedly accidentally runs into Dr. Reese and pretends to be delighted to see him. He insistently invites his former colleague to lunch. Jill returns home and argues with Nan. It turns out that her sister was the one who told Spencer about the crazy Reese. Jill becomes furious. Reese no longer answers his phone. Jill goes to the bank and receives a warning from Reese, telling her to be careful. It turns out that he managed to gather all the information about the accident in space. Jill flips through the newspapers and magazines and finds a note with her name on it. But at that moment, the lights suddenly go out. Panicking, she runs through the dark hallway, searching for an exit. One of the employees finds her and immediately turns the lights back on. At home, Jill plays the cassette Reese left for her. The man admits that this is his farewell message because he is no longer alive. The woman hears the recording made during those 2 minutes in the open space. She hears not only Spencer's and Alex's voices, but something else as well. That's the sound that doesn't exist on Earth. Reese is convinced it was aliens who took the astronauts' places, which means Spencer is no longer her husband. That's why he's building that strange aircraft. And worst of all, no one knows what exactly is growing inside her. Suddenly, Spencer appears and startles Jill. She asks her husband why he's building that plane, but Spencer ignores the question. They watch a movie together. As Jill falls asleep, she dreams about what really happened to the astronauts during those 2 minutes after the explosion. Jill buys a special medication to get rid of the monsters she believes are living inside her. She cries, unable to force herself to take the 2 pills. Spencer finds her in this state and becomes furious. The woman tries to escape from her angry husband. She sees the 2 twins inside her womb, becomes dizzy, and falls down the stairs. Jill is taken to the hospital, but both she and the babies are saved. After the surgery, Spencer comes to her room and tells her she shouldn't take any pills. Then Nan visits Jill. The protagonist feels that something wrong is happening to her. Spencer gives his wife a red rose. He hints that it's better for no one to know what she's thinking, because those thoughts could send her back to the psychiatric hospital. Spencer promises he will do everything he can to protect his family. Jill sees either nightmares or visions from her subconscious, in which Spencer attacks Nan. She escapes from the hospital and gets into a taxi, but soon notices that Spencer is following her. The woman takes the subway, yet the chase still doesn't stop. On top of that, she's tormented by disturbing hallucinations, all of which are rather terrifying. The main character has to run from Spencer even in the park. Back home, Jill plans to do the same thing that Natalie, the wife of the second astronaut, once did. But Spencer catches up to his wife and stops her. Jill asks her husband, "Who are you?" The man replies that he is the one who gave her paradise. Jill notices the scars on Spencer's arm and realizes that all her nightmares were real. Now she knows that a creature has taken her husband's place. Spencer is gone. Her sister Nan is gone as well. And the babies growing inside her are not entirely human. Water floods the house from all sides. Jill lifts her feet off the floor and plugs a toaster into the socket. The creature is electrocuted. A horrifying being crawls out of his body and enters Jill. Some time passes. Jill is now raising her twin boys. She has completely changed her life. Her name is Susan now, and she has a new husband. He is an astronaut as well. Their children will become pilots, just like their father.